Hello everybody, how are you doing? Everybody's been asking, everybody, literally, everybody in the entire planet has been saying, Josh, why don't you like local trucking? Yeah, like 3 or 4 people asked, and that's a good enough reason for me to make a video. All I need, 3 or 4 people ask the question. Actually, it kind of helps because sometimes I don't know what to talk about. So that's what we'll talk about today. We'll talk about why I hate local truck driving so much. There's a little bit to it, so we'll get into that here in a minute. What a day we're having. First thing you guys need to know is I have apparently turned to a life of crime. Yeah, I'm a hardcore criminal these days. You want to know what I did? I broke the law today. I'm gonna tell you about it. Yeah, ready? There's gonna be 30,000 videos made about this guy trucks and his law-breaking ways after this. You ready? This morning, guys, at Love's, nope, at Pilot, I stole some oatmeal. You know how they got the warm oatmeal and you can get a little bowl, right? And you can put the oatmeal in the bowl, which all of that sounds pretty reasonable so far. Well, there was one lady working at the Pilot because everybody's just slashing workers these days and expecting one person to do everyone's job, right? And she was actually arguing with another trucker who had been standing in line for quite a while because he had shit to do. He had to go, which is a thing. We have shit to do. And she starts going back and forth with him, arguing about she's the only person there. They're short-staffed. He just needs to wait his turn. And if he don't want to wait his turn, he can go use the damn self-checkout and he can be on his way. And he's I like the self-checkouts. I know that the older people tend to not like them. I don't know why. They say, well, you don't even get to talk to a person when you go to a self-checkout. Yeah, that's the fucking bonus. Yeah, that's why I love them. Send me to a self-checkout any fucking day. I ain't got to talk to you. I ain't got to hear about your day. I ain't got to do shit but check out and get the fuck out of there. I love it. Same thing with, like, I don't know who calls people on the phone anymore, but when you used to call in and you had to do all the different options, people were like, you can't even just call anywhere and connect to a person to pay your bill. Yeah, love it. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, this guy didn't like being told to go use the self-checkout. Hey, to each your own, or whatever, however they say it. But since she was bitching back at him and they were kind of, in each other's face a little bit, I didn't think much of it, but I went and I got my unsweetened iced tea. I got me my bowl of oatmeal, and I got some sort of bread. It was some sort of bread. I don't know. I have no clue. Well, I went up to pay for these items. There was still a long line waiting for just her, and I'm looking through all the different screens and options to find oatmeal. I even used the search bar to find oatmeal. Oatmeal is nowhere on the fucking thing whatsoever. So I rang up my other stuff. I looked at this lady who was still very busy and still very agitated, and I put my oatmeal in my shopping bag with everything else, and I stole it. I did. I mean, call the cops, do what you need to do. Hey, you know what? It was a whole fucking thing in there, and I stole it. The oatmeal. So how about that? How about that? What else do I want to complain about before I get into complaining about why I don't like local truck driving? Well, let me just tell you. Last night on the live stream, we were talking about this load that I'm on. It was just doomed from the start. It's a 3-drop, and we had a whole fiasco with trying to get a trailer in Colorado. It was the trailer I had got rejected because the chute was damaged sends the refrigeration to the back of the trailer. I've never had a trailer rejected because the chute was damaged ever in my life. I've seen it before and I went, whatever. Well, this place was feeling extra picky, I guess, or maybe it's the fucking rules. I don't care and I don't know. Well, my trailer gets rejected. I think in 10 years of driving trucks, that's the first time I've ever had a trailer rejected. I was like, motherfucker, man. So there was this whole mad dash to find me another reefer trailer. They were having trouble finding one. I tried to leave Colorado at like 8 or 9 in the morning. I didn't get out of there till like 5 or 6 at night. Then the next day we had like Wyoming weather, some icy spots on the road, 55 mile per hour fucking winds and shit like that, and the load was just doomed and there was nothing I could do about it. So I told dispatch about it yesterday. They said, we'll see what we can do. Cool, no big deal. As long as they're informed, I don't fucking care. I don't care about a late load. I told you what happened, and I told you I'm not going to make it. It is your job as dispatch to figure out how the fuck to fix it, right? So they never got back to me. I sent another message before I went to bed last night, said, hey, it's just gonna be late. I haven't heard anything from you guys, to which I think they lied to me, because while I was doing my live stream last night, I got a message from them saying the chain laws were up on Donner. I don't think they were. They could have just told me they didn't have anyone. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. But I don't think the chain laws were up on Donner, because I looked for it afterwards and I didn't see anything. Came across Donner today. Brilliant drive. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't fucking know. Who cares? I get in 3 hours late to this drop-off. I have to go into San Francisco, and I am currently 93 miles away with 1 hour and 18 minutes left on my 70. Going into the Bay Area, forget about it. We're not making that at all. So I sent them a message, said, hey, I'm here at the first drop. I'm checked in. They're unloading it. I will not make it to the second drop today. My 70 is done. It's out, right? You know what they did? Didn't respond. I love it. I love it. I think that's great. I wish we all could have jobs like dispatchers, where if we don't like something, we just ignore it. Could you imagine that, drivers? Other drivers out there? We're just driving down the road. You get stuck behind a fucking Texan, right? That can't decide what speed they're gonna go, and they fuck with you all day. For the next 8 hours, you're dealing with this one idiot Texan, right? And we just throw our hands up, leave the cruise control set, and come back here and just play PlayStation. Hey, we didn't like the problem. We just ignored the fucking thing. It'll sort itself out. So I do get a little jealous of dispatchers sometimes, because they're able to do that. Whew, I'm out of breath. I felt like I just whipped through all that, because I was like, I want to tell you guys these stories, but I want to, some people get really mad at me, guys, and they say, get to the fucking point, because we live in the TikTok generation now, where you can't even stand around and have a conversation with the fucking guy no more. You got to get it over with in 9 seconds or less, or you got some pissed off Ritalin kid fucking asking why you're still fucking talking. So, sorry, but that's just what we do on this channel. I wanted to get through it real fast. So let's get into talking about why I absolutely, absolutely despise, hate local truck driving. And since the dawn of time of This Guy Trucks on YouTube, through the course of this channel, through the course of the old channel, every time I get real grumpy and make me an angry trucker video where I'm just bitching about everything, which all truckers do. Don't let them fool you. They'll be like, oh, this guy whines all the time. Oh, there's no crying in baseball, they say, but there's a lot of fucking whining in trucking. And every one of us does it. Every fucking one of us, right? But every time I get real grumpy and make you guys a video where I'm just real mad about things, somebody always goes, dude, just get a local job. Like that is the solution to every problem in the world, is just get a local truck driving job. And I get it. If that's what you found and that's what you like, I think that's what everybody should be doing, what they like doing, right? What they like doing, that's what they should be doing. And I fucking hate local truck driving. I hate it. Absolutely despise it. I forgot what I was going to say. Somebody asked in my last video, is your memory like a goldfish? Almost forgot the question, didn't I? Yes, sometimes it is, because I'm rattling all these ideas off in my head as I go. Anyways, yeah, if that's what you like doing, I think you should do it. I think that a lot of times, a lot of local drivers, in my experience, tend to talk down on over-the-road drivers. Now, I would not be surprised if it was the other way around, because if I'm looking at a local truck driver, I might go, the guy ain't even a real trucker. Can't get out there on the road for a month at a time, son? What's wrong with you? What, your nuts ain't dropped yet? What's wrong with you, boy? Right? So I think we both kind of look down on each other sometimes. Fuck, why do I keep forgetting what I'm saying? So anyways, and people, a lot of local drivers like to get really mad at over-the-road drivers, in my experience, have said, you're a fucking idiot. Why aren't you doing the exact same thing I'm doing? That way, and it's always the I make comment in the comment section. I make this much money and I'm home every night and all these things, and the weird one, I gotta go fuck my wife every night. Yeah, I mean, that sounds fantastic. I mean, it's great, but like, why are you saying it in my comment section? Would anybody's wife appreciate that if their husband was running around YouTube talking about how he goes home and he fucks her every night? maybe on a certain topic video, certain kind of video topic, but on a trucking video where you're just talking in front of other truckers going, you know what I do to my wife every night? I don't think any women would be flattered by that. Knock it off, guys, knock it off. But the problem with the logic of why doesn't everybody do the same job I do is it would devalue your job. If everybody did the same job you do, then your wages will drop because your position is highly sought after. There's 10,000 people waiting for you to fuck up so that they can take your job. You should be happy that not everyone does the job that you do. You should feel blessed that not everybody wants to be a local truck driver. So goddamn, 10 minutes into it, Josh, why do you hate local truck driving so much? The biggest thing that like comes to mind right off the bat is the fucking commute. And I get it, as truck drivers, our entire job is a commute, right? We're always driving somewhere. But the fucking commute on top of the day that you already had to work. So, on a good commute, it's like a half-hour drive to work, right? You can get into an hour. That's on your morning drive, hour-long commute in. Your afternoon drive going home just turned into an hour or 2 hours to get home, and it's a fucking nightmare. And that's after you spent all day driving around, and now you have to take your ass all the way back home. And I always found when I was doing local work that by the time I got home, I was just completely fucking exhausted every goddamn time. And you guys know me, I like to sit down and play some video games. Like to eat some food, you know? Whatever it is you like to do. I like to make my videos. I like to do a live stream every now and then. And local work, I never had time for fucking anything else at all. Because those motherfuckers running those local jobs are gonna run out your 14 hours every day. Just in my experience, that's how it always worked for me. You get in there at like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. You're not out of there till 5 o'clock at night. And they run out your whole 14. So that's 14 hours of the day gone, leaving you only 10, right? Now let's say that your commute each way is an hour. Let's average it out to an hour. Now you've only got 8 hours left in your day. You haven't showered yet. You haven't ate dinner yet. You haven't even watched a football game yet. You have done absolutely nothing besides make sure your job is taken care of and the commute around it, and you're down to 8 hours left in the day. That's it. You haven't even slept yet. You haven't even slept yet. So you got to go home, eat your dinner real quick, grab a real quick shower and go, oh, I'm fucking exhausted. And then go to bed and get up at 2 o'clock the next morning and do it all fucking over again. And the very thought of doing that every day actually makes me feel like physically fucking nauseous. It's disgusting. It's gross. Out here, sure, sometimes we run up against that 14-hour day. It happens. Not as much as you would think. Not in my experience. I mean, I am a rookie. I've only been doing this 10 years, so I am a rookie. But it is very, very rare for me to ever run up against that 14-hour day. Hardly ever happens. A lot of times you have just an 8-hour day. 9, 10-hour day. And see, I like to keep mine under 9 hours if I can. That way I can always run recaps. So it's 9 hours, and the commute is literally like you start here, oh shit, and you end here in the front seat, and you have just successfully made your commute to work. I love that shit. I love it, man. So you have a 9-hour day with no commute, leaves you plenty of time to play some PlayStation, whatever you want to do. A lot of people like to shit on me because I like playing games. Fuck me for having a hobby, I guess. I guess that's fucking weird. Hobbies. Who needs them? Dorks. Fucking dorks. But, I just can't stand all that time and all the commute and all that. And the motherfuckers are going to run out your 70 most of the time, too. They're going to run out your 70. So you're putting in 6 days a week and fucking 16 hours a day between work and the commute. And I'm not seeing the value in it, right? A lot of people tell me it's so much better, and I understand that I'm reaching for the top shelf. These are the maximum amount of hours, and I'm saying that's what you're going to work. I understand that. There may be guys out there doing 8-hour days local. I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I never have. But I'm sure it could happen. But it's like, God, what is left? What is left in your life to be able to do that? Ah, God. And you know what I really hate? You know what I really fucking hate about local trucking jobs? There's other people there, guys. Now, out here on the road, you deal with a lot of truckers, of course. There was some shithead just now in this truck stop parking lot that I'm in that was backing his truck in to his spot, right? But he was all the way out against, like, all the way out across the travel lane, whatever, the fucking aisle, I don't know, whatever you call it. And he walked to the back of his trailer. I'm like, okay, well, he's not sure where he is. The old get out and look, or as the prime dorks say, goal, goal. Fucking prime dorks. Anyways, he was walking with a bag, like a shopping bag, and he walked to the back of his trailer, put that bag underneath his back tire, and then walked back to his truck and backed up. It was his trash. And he's like, if I run it over, it'll go away. And he had no shame at all. He just did it right there in front of everyone. Did not give a flying fuck at all about it. But what am I talking about? Oh yeah, people. People fucking suck. That's what we're talking about. You'll have this kind of thing happen sometimes when you're an over-the-road driver. You'll pass another shithead that works for your company, and he'll find something that you're doing wrong, like, oh, he swerved out of his lane a little bit, or hey, maybe he's got a marker light out, and he's calling up your company, and he's like, hey, I just saw this other truck, and he's out here being a fucking madman on the road. And then your safety department calls. I've had this happen before. Your safety department calls and goes, hey, we heard some things might be going on with you out there. Are you okay? And you're like, oh, fuck, for fuck's sake. I'm fine. Everything's fine. This fucking shithead. Now, when you do a local job, that shithead is there every fucking day. That motherfucker, he's walking around everybody's truck while they're out pre-tripping or whatever, and he's timing them. Looks like Josh only did a 3-minute pre-trip today. I'm gonna make sure I mention that. And he pulled out of here with a light turned off, light burned out or whatever, and he's watching everybody, and he's watching for the like most minor fucking infractions that he can find, and then he's running his little bitch ass inside to go tell somebody. You know what I saw him doing? You know what I saw him doing? You know what I saw him doing? And if that ain't bad enough, working with other people just sucks. It just sucks. Like, you've always got somebody critiquing your work. I'll be right back. Alrighty, sorry about that. You hear the Qualcomm going off. Oh, look. Dispatch finally got to work. About time. Listen, all those messages coming through. They just called. They said, hey, we got those 2 drops rescheduled for you tomorrow, which is actually brilliant. Tonight, I just get to chill because the first drop 90 miles away isn't due till 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. Love it. Absolutely love it. Just brilliant. So, yeah, finally they got that done. So what was I saying? That people suck? Oh yeah, the people that are always critiquing your work constantly also. I don't fucking like that. Like when I was doing oil field work, you needed, it was nice to have a CB in the oil field. When I was doing frac sand, you needed it to load, right? You're on the CB telling, you need to load, telling them what sand they need to load, but you didn't need it outside of that. But some nights we would be lined up down this fucking dirt road in the middle of goddamn nowhere because the well would go down or something, and we'd have 10 fucking trucks, 20 trucks lined up down that road, and every motherfucker on the CB critiquing everybody that's turning in or out of that oil well, or whatever. This was years ago, that oil location or whatever the fuck you call it, right? And well, I don't know, if it was me, I might have taken that turn a little wider. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. And you deal with that. Sometimes I surprise myself. Somebody mentioned one day, could you imagine being parked next to this guy while he's recording a video? Poor guy next to me, he's just sitting over there enjoying his fucking, I don't know, roller grill dog or whatever right now, and somebody's screaming to shut the fuck up. But anyways, the constant fucking like critiquing of your work and telling you, and I don't give a fuck. I have heard so many times in over the course of my career, well, they're just trying to help you do better. Maybe if you'd listen to people every once in a while, you would do better. No, they're not. No, they're not. I don't believe that even for a fucking minute. They're trying to let you know that there's a superior trucker and you can shut the fuck up and you can learn from them and you can do better. Now, you do still get that sometimes. as an over-the-road trucker. I'm gonna make some of y'all's blood boil just a little bit right now, because I know people get so worked up about this really stupid thing. I was meeting with a guy swapping trailers over the road one day, right? And so he pulled up, and I was already unhooked from my trailer, and I was in a hurry. So when he set his brakes, I went over there and started helping him unhook his trailer so I could get on the road and get the fuck out of there, right? No big deal. It's kind of a thing people do sometimes. So I cranking that landing gear down, right? And I'm not even paying attention to it. He's like talking to me. He's bullshitting about something because he's already got all the airlines unhooked, right? You can't even see my arm moving, so it looks like I'm just wiggling my head at you guys. But you get the point, right? And I'm just cranking the fucker down, and he's talking to me, and I feel it stop. Okay, it touched the ground. I'm like, okay, cool. And he goes, no, not like that. Not like that. You got to raise that landing gear up just a little bit, because if you don't, the next guy that comes along might, might high hook it or whatever the fuck they call it. And I was like, bro, I'm the next guy coming along. I'm the guy here that you're swapping trailers with. I said, are you really fucking telling me about this right now? I don't give a fuck. I will pull up next to this bitch in just a minute, and I will hook up to it, and I will be just fine. I am literally the next guy coming along. In the history of me dropping trailers, this has never actually been an issue. And as a matter of fact, it is much better for that trailer to be too high. Now, don't go out there and just crank the living shit out of it, guys, when it touches the ground. But it's much better for it to be high, especially a loaded trailer. You know why? Because gravity exists. That's why. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Because gravity exists, right? So if the fucker's too high when you go to pull under it, then you can get out there and you can crank it down. Use gravity to help bring it back down. You know what really fucking sucks? You know what really sucks, guys? When that motherfucker's too low and it's loaded. Because now you gotta muscle that motherfucker up into the sky so you can get it hooked up. Right? That's what you got to do. Being dropped too high is the preferable option. And there's literally people out there going, what? No, you always want to drop too low. You crank up a loaded trailer, you son of a bitch. I ain't doing it. I'm old. I will run out of breath right out there and die right next to that trailer. That'll be my last day of my life, all because you wanted to make sure it was perfectly a quarter inch off the ground before you drop the motherfucker. I don't actually care about this topic that much, about the height of the landing gear when you drop it. I literally do not give a fuck. The point I was making is the constant critiquing of your work when you work local. Ugh. I've been there. I've seen it. It's fucking awful. It is an absolutely horrible experience. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, well, there's a couple things, I guess. When it comes to pay, over-the-road truckers, no, we probably don't make more than local truckers. You would think we would, right? Because we're always gone on the road. We probably don't make more than local truckers do, but at least to a point we have some sort of way we can influence that. Like if you're a local trucker paid by the hour, you know what, this is actually a non-point now that I'm thinking about it, because local truckers are probably going to get overtime. I would say that local truckers probably do better than us. I'll tell you the point I was going to make, but it's a stupid point, so it doesn't matter. I was going to say, at least as an over-the-road trucker, when we're paid by the mile, we can kind of help influence how much money we make by, managing our clock and banging out those miles. But honestly, it's a dumb point. It's probably not even worth saying, because I don't know how much it fucking matters. Local driver, especially with overtime pay, probably making a lot more money than us, honestly. So the money issue, I think they got us beat. I think they do. And that's living in a perfect world, right? Where a dispatcher does their job. Whoa! Consistently? Holy shit! A load planner's like getting shit done. Like, yeah, that's living in a perfect world. Also where a shipper and receiver don't waste half your fucking day. So, yeah, if we were left to our own devices to get shit done, we would make a whole lot more money. But since there's so many cogs in the fucking wheel, the whole point was pretty dumb. The whole point was pretty dumb now that I think about it. But the last thing I want to talk about is somebody had said in a comment that the reason, I don't know if it was directed at me and I don't really fucking care, but they were saying the reason that over-the-road drivers don't want to do local work is because local work is a lot more physical, and you have to get out there and you have to, you know, do whatever physical part of the job there is. And maybe there's an argument to be made that that's not necessarily true if you get into like flatbed out here, but then you're still gonna like only tarp and strap every other day at worst case scenario. And I agree with that. I fucking hated local work because I don't want to be out there in the elements, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You're a bitch, Josh. I don't fucking care. I don't care. I don't want to be out there in the elements, the sun or the snow or any of those things, doing physical fucking labor. There is no job on this fucking planet that is going to pay me enough money. Maybe I could be a UFC fighter, you know? I'm kind of a badass, right? But no job out there that's going to pay enough for me to wreck my fucking body. There's no such thing. Now, as an over-the-road truck driver, we do have to pay attention to that, guys. We really do. And I have been focused on that a lot more lately than I have been for a few years, because I realized I was starting to get real fat over here, and I'm like, I can't have that. But, I mean, going out there and like lifting heavy shit and destroying your back, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to do it. So, hey, if that makes me a bitch and that makes me not a real trucker, that's okay, because I actually, my dad's been through like 6 or 7 back surgeries, quite a few. He first injured his back when he was very young. I mean, he's still very able to do things. He's still very capable. He's a trucker that is a physical job, has an actual physical job, and he's able to do that just fine. But the amount of surgeries he's been through and the pain that he lives through, there's no job in the world gonna pay me enough to physically wreck my fucking body for him. So hey, if that was the point, that I'm too lazy to get out there and do physical work, you're right. You're absolutely right. You only get this one body, man, and you want to destroy it for what, $22 an hour? Not me. Have fun. Have at it there, champ. I ain't doing it. Anyways, I think that's all I got for now. I'm happy this load is taken care of. I'm happy I don't have to get up early in the morning. I'm going to play some games tonight, baby. Fucking love it. Love it.